biggest worry isn't going to be that target when someone's right in his face.
I completely agree, and I like to also emphasize what you bring up, the idea of it being much more of a ground-based meta that has definitely also changed with the way that we're also playing the tank roles. We don't see nearly as much Winston. Now, we do see it more lately. He's been getting a rise back, especially on the map we're on right now, Hollywood. He has been seen a lot more than previous, but at the same time, it is a situation where we saw a lot of the same style of tank and play, where it was all just about the Reinhardt, protecting the Reinhardt with the McCree and the Zenyatta, but teams have started to branch out, and we have started to see even teams go with Genji Reaper instead of, and actually, you know, today we've already seen a 2 Tracer Genji has been something that we've seen, so, you know, McCree, for being the best hero in the meta, has been seeing a little bit less play, but we will get quickly into introduction so we can continue the conversation and the analysis. As Vaneless is going to be picking up the Zenyatta over here for the side of Evoks. We have Logic's going to be picking up there. McCree, Evok himself going to be picking up the Lucio. We have Nesh over here on a Zarya relay, going to be picking up the Reinhardt. And then last but not least is going to be Mitchell, the one you've been talking about and bringing up previously, an Overwatch Kings member now forming over here onto his own team, joining Evoks, is going to be playing the Reaper.
Yeah, on the other side we have MVP Badger on the Winston, Casper running the Ana, Tom on his Lucio, Fisher on his Genji, Outsider on Zarya, and Reels on Tracer, and Casper just switches back to Zenyatta, which might be a good first point hold. But I guess, I don't know, it's kind of blind pick right now, so they don't realize they don't have a lot of strong engage, and this might be a very, very slow push from the offense, so we'll see how it works out. Actually, no, wait, no, I got this completely flipped. They're going full dive comp right now.
Yeah, they really are. I mean, they are going to be having the Zenyatta. That will be the slight difference, but that is going to be just for the Harmony Orb on Fisher, and so far, it seems to be working all right. Vaneless does take out MVP Badger, so 1-for-1 trade, but Vaneless, his life is short, as Mitchar does take out Casper, so both Zenyatas have fallen so far. Fisher still at 100 HP, but he's still alive and doing damage. Mitchar gets himself 2 before going down, but the defense needs to get more than that if they're going to stabilize. The run is very long, and Reels is going to help take out Relay, and that's going to leave 2 heroes left on the point, Evok and Zarya, but Zarya is going to be short to fall, and that's going to be a very, very clean execution coming out from B.fly. And I don't think that Evoks were quite ready for that. They just kind of felt like they got caught with their pants down. Vaneless did take out the Winston, but that was about it. After that, it was pretty much just a B.fly show.
Yeah, it was just how much Fisher was able to stay alive and deal damage. He was just able to get away out of the grasp of the defensive Reinhardt and just not get taken down. And when you have someone who just has dash up and is able to do a lot of these, you know, drive-by kills up for so long and so much damage sustained, like, that's ridiculous for the offense.
Yep, I agree with that as well. And also, I mean, it's worth pointing out that he of course, at this level, and I've watched Fisher before, and a lot of the Genjis, they're going to be doing it consistently, but he's always doing the shurikens into the dash so that when he does get the kill, it immediately resets, and he's always using the dash so that there's, well, not always, but he's generally using the dash so that he can get the value out of the reset as consistently as possible. But speaking of the reset, that's going to be the sword. He's going to go ahead and re-dash. Graviton starts going out against the offense as it is going to catch up 2 of them, and maybe a flashbang on Fisher might be enough for the defense to finally get their foot in the ground, as Logix gets himself 2, Nash and Relay are going to answer as well. Logix makes it 3, and Reels is the only player to have survived, but he is going to be on the run, and right now if Logix can land some good shots, he would be able to take him out and stagger, but does get out alive.
Man, Vaneless, that Transcendence was just so... It was so harsh because Fisher pops, I think he's able to take advantage of the high ground, but then Transcendence gets popped and he's able to do 0 damage, and it's worse because everyone gathers around the Graviton Surge, and, you know, just around Vaneless right there, unable to do much damage, and burns his ult. Now we're gonna have, ooh,
yeah,
that was
Logix. He jumped down and got that double kill.
Job.
Yeah, that double kill Deadeye was huge, and then in addition to that, he was getting chased out by MVP Badger, and I think that's gonna be a team kill here as B.fly all gets mopped up, and that is definitely what the side of Evoks needed after getting routed on the first point. But what I wanted to say was Logic, that Deadeye, I kind of felt like it was actually going to go poorly. I kind of figured that maybe they would try, MVP Badger would try to bubble him in and prevent the damage from going out or something cheeky like that. But it ends up knocking him off, and he jumps off as well, falls off, and gets that great Deadeye.
Yeah, honestly, I'm not a huge fan of the Tracer Genji on offense right here because they just don't have enough clear right now. Look at that defensive ult. How do you get rid of that? Maybe a pulse bomb? Is that going to work?
Death Blossom comes out, but Casper is going to get the Transcendence off, and that pretty much negates all the damage, and maybe this is exactly what they did need to go ahead and get everything going, but I agree with you. I don't think that was strictly intrinsic to the composition they were running. Actually, I honestly just want to say Casper, with his Transcendence there, bought so much space and opportunity, and it is worth noting that without Logic's ultimate, they have no burst damage to deal with Transcendence. They only have damage over time.
Yeah, that was a great graviton surge that just set everything up for Rios to really land something there, just like land a pulse bomb. And maybe, you know, I was initially worried that they wouldn't have enough damage, but the fact is everyone was trapped in there. They negated so much of the offensive damage that they were able to, you know, return. And now they're taking the point and going through the last studio points.
And Mitra are going to have to deal with the Genji on the high ground, as he will be able to get control of the catwalk for now, but it is a situation where I feel like we haven't really brought it up, but the stopwatch is just now getting up to 4 minutes, and this is a good push coming out from B.fly. Really, the side of Evoks needs to put their feet in the ground and fight it out. Graviton Surge going to be going as I say that, so let's see if they can capitalize on that. And as my camera gets caught up, Logix is going to be able to take out Tom, Evok onto Casper, Mitrar onto MVP Badger, and this might just be a clean fight. I say that Fisher finally does get his own answer kill as he's on the run out, 94 HP, and I don't think that they'll continue to chase this out because of the risk of them getting the spawn camp, but they do end up pushing him back, and Fisher survives, Dragon Blade available, and they do have some ultimates to work with here, the side of B.fly, 3 total, as the defense is only going to be sitting on basically 2 once Relay gets him his up.
Yeah, I'm going to keep my eye on Tom. Tom saved his ultimate made for this exact engage, or maybe this counter engage that's going to go on. Yes, exactly, as he saved it for this moment. Let's see if that pays off. Fisher's able to get a great kill on Logix, taking out the McCree very early on. Bangless goes down as well. Wow, Fisher's just on fire.
That's a 4K. Can he make it 5? We'll find out in just a second. He's going to be hunting down onto the Zarya. No Nesh. He tries so hard. You can see that he just wanted to live, and Fisher gets the 6K. Team kill. Team ace. And man, this guy is feeling it.
And that was my player to watch. And this guy just goes crazy. And whoa, Tom with that ultimate discipline. That's a theme I've been talking about all day today. But man, I was a little iffy because when that graviton surge hit, Tom had the opportunity to defensively ult and maybe mitigate some of the damage. But Tom very smart there, keeping that ultimate in, knowing that the only way it'd really be effective is if he's able to get it off as the defense tries to react and tries to build more room for himself. So good play, good restraint on holding that ultimate. And I don't know if that was necessarily the game changer, but it definitely was something to consider.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with that, and I mean it's 505. That's the part of this, the symptom, the impact of what you're talking about. That fight at the end, they didn't really have a good stall at the end. They needed to have one, and now 5 minutes. That is erring towards the side of it being a first offense advantage push. I like to say it a lot of the times when you run non-stopwatch based formulas, it is definitely onus on the first side to get the push in and be able to successfully cap, and then the second side, of course, they are left with the first side, if they don't score, then it is a very hard position for them because the other team just needs to get it to the end point. There's no risk of a coin flip, whereas if you cap first as the offensive team in a non-stopwatch formula, you basically promise overtime or coin flip, whatever will be in it decided. But when you're stopwatch and you have a good time as the first offense, the onus is so much on the side of the second offense. They have to beat this 5 minute time, and 5 minutes is below that 6-7 minute medium time that we look at.
Yeah, and they're not exactly running the composition that's going to have an easy time doing that. I mean, Reaper has the range. It's going to be so defensive in terms of going for a very slow push. Maybe they're looking for the flank, or maybe they're just trying to rely on Reaper Ultimate to do that point clear and make it a lot easier for them.
Now we will see here. Of course, that is going to be an interesting point of discussion here, as it is a different bit of a lineup than what we've been seeing here, than the Tracers, the Genjis, but they are just going to go for the speed boost in, and this is what Reaper's good at, fighting and clashing, snowballing once the fight's won. But Fisher going to be getting the first kill of the fight, so he's going to be getting that first HP, but it looks like it isn't going to matter as Mitra gets himself 2 kills. Logic is able to take out Fisher out of that Wraith form, and this is going to be a absolute clean out. And right now, B.fly, ooh, that's not good. Of course, they do have the stopwatch on their side, but when you lose the first point in under a minute, you're looking in the same spot you were in on your offense.
Yeah, so obviously Michael making me eat there, but honestly Logic was just on fire, picking off points as needed, and it looked a little good at the front when they were able to keep the Reinhardt up. But right now, man, that's such a fast point. Luckily they were able to get ready and look for the upper streets kind of like control and maybe be able to hold us off a little more. But man, the offense is just building up ultimates right now. The defense still is a little ways off from their big ones.
Yeah, no, I agree with that, and that's going to be a big issue because, of course, if the other ultimates come up online from the side of the offense and you don't have the counter ultimates, the contra, then it is going to be a bad situation as the offense continues to push in here. But it looks like the defense is going to be the one mainly initiating as MVP Badger and Fisher jump down and they get big kills. But Mitcher, again, he does big things for his team when they need it. And he gets himself a double kill, and now Logic's going to be able to take out Tom and chasing out onto Fisher. He's the only one left alive, and if he doesn't get big kills here, he's going to end up falling and his team's going to be in a bad spot. Reels goes ahead and pops out the Deadeye, but there isn't going to be enough targets for him to really get any value out of it. It is buying them time, and if we go to the stopwatch, they have bled it down to 3 minutes and 15 seconds, but this is not a good situation at all for B.fly as the payload is rounded the first corner, and there are 3 ultimates, and well, I guess there's 4 up for B.fly, but still, oh, Reels, this could be horrible. He's actually caught in a corner. If he doesn't hit every single headshot right now, Nesh is going to end up winning the duel, and now there's going to be a Death Blossom coming out from Fisher as he does get 2 kills. Mitchar, though, with his own Death Blossom, he gets 3, he gets 4. After it, he's going to be able to take out Casper, and Evoks is able to take out Outsider, and once again, another team kill coming out as we did miss the horn, but right now, Evoks is really pushing it forward and putting their foot on the pedal.
Man, Fisher went in thinking that was the play of the game, and Mitcher was just like, anything you can do, I can do better. It comes down, and after everything gets cleaned up, just able to, completely reset the fight. Obviously, everyone had burned their defensive ultimates, weren't thinking about there might be another presence dropping in, but man, that was a very clutch ultimate. And right now, in the last point, everyone's on fire. They might have a little bit initial trouble trying to go through because they don't, besides Logics, they don't really have any big offensive clears, but that might just be enough.
Yeah, well, and with this Deadeye, Graviton Surge, they do have the Transcendence as well, so there's a lot going on here. Reels is going to be able to get the double kill out of that Deadeye, and he's going to back up, rolling away, doing a lot of damage, and that's going to be the relay. Defensive Reinhardt taking a lot of damage, dropping down to 10 HP, will fall, and now the offense getting pushed back to their spawn. Vainless is going to be in a bad spot. He gets cleaned up, and Reels has another chance to get another kill onto Logix. Won't be able to do it. Does land the damage, though. He will get healed up, but at the end, this is the offense doing our defense doing everything that they need to, buying more time, creating more space, and pushing back the offense. Like you said previously, getting the payload around that corner and onto that catwalk can give the offense a lot more opportunities, but there's going to be a defensive initiation again. They're going to go with the same plan as before, non-stop aggression, get in the faces of the offense, as it looks like the great headshots from Real is going to be able to take out Relay, and now a Graviton Surge onto all of the offense, and they're just caught in there. Fisher's going to get himself a triple kill, and it looks like Tom and Casper are going to help out as well, but that was all the show of Fisher, Reels, and of course, Outsider on that Zarya, landing the Graviton Surge to set them up.
Yeah, but I'm going to even point out MVP Badger, who had a great Earth Shatter that was able to mitigate a lot of the Transcendence, because sure, if you can keep your team alive, that's fine, but the problem is Earth Shatter took down a lot of the backline and mitigated so much damage that was coming up, and now Fisher, who didn't pop his ult before, now is going for the big clears. If you can kill one more person, that'd be awesome in the situation right now. They're forcing them to play defensive, and if Fisher cleans up, this is not
playing so aggro. This is like your pug style Genji play, where you have an advantage, where you have a good feeling. I mean, I'm sure the comms at some respect are definitely a lot of respect towards Fisher, or definitely a lot of hype around him right now as he's playing it out, but he himself is playing with that confidence, with that ego that he can play up at spawn.
Oh man, and Casper holding on to the ult. We're talking about his great ult management. Oh man.
The deflect in the face. Mitchar will get a Death Blossom, though this is exactly what they needed, the side of Evoks, if they're going to go ahead and win this, but unfortunately time left 15 seconds. This is going to come down to the very end, and honestly, it is one of those situations where we have to look at the reality of it, and Diva, Tracer, Mei, all of those heroes can just effectively make it impossible for them to win, and they're going to go ahead and call GG, even without any stall. We were 3 seconds away from the clock being over, and so that will be GG, and we will be moving on to the next map. But B.fly able to eke themselves out of victory, and I do say eke because at the end, while their offense looked great, their defense came to the same problems that Evoks defense seemed to have, and they were not able to stall at all on the first point. They had issues on the second point. I guess Evoks had a really good defense on the second point, whereas B.fly had theirs on the third point. But, flip-flop, same story. And Evoks does go down to begin this series, and B.fly goes up.
Yeah, and that was great. I mean, Casper was able to hold on the ultimate, and the moment they popped the offensive Lucio ultimate, Casper just comes in, Transcendence, to mitigate a lot of the damage that they were trying to go with their execute. That was a huge game changer, because sure, Mitcher at the end of the day is able to get a great Death Blossom up, but he's not able to do it until very late in the fight. And maybe that was something they talked about, was, hey, we only have this many seconds left, let's wait it out, let's stall it out. And that may have been the difference between them pushing maybe heck, even 20 seconds faster and going for the game. But obviously now they're on King's Row, and we'll see how they work.
Yeah, and honestly, that's the truth of high skill games when they are truly even calibers. I mean, there are definitely games where, of course, like Envious is an example. They're taking on, let's just say, for sake of argument, the best team in Europe right now, at least as far as standings go. It's Misfits. Well, if Envious just wiped the floor with Misfits, well then, it's a high skill matchup, but the teams are still not that even. But if you have two even teams in a high skill matchup, it comes down to the wire over and over again. And that is, of course, you could look at it as some proof for Overwatch being a good formula. And, a lot of the time that is the better way to look at it. But at the same time, it is definitely shaping up to be a series that could go the distance. Or, it could be one of those series where B.fly wins 3-0, but every single game was 5 seconds away from going the other way.
Yeah, it's very close, and this is a map we've seen B.fly on a lot, so hopefully they're able to make the adjustments as needed. Their defensive setup looks, it looks pretty defensive, and honestly, it looks like something they'll be able to style at the point very quickly on offense. Man, they barely have any engaged. Relay's going to go in completely alone. He's going to get chunked out.
Yeah, it could be bad for him. Mitrar is going to take a lot of damage to start off this game as we were on Tom. He's down to 150 HP, taking a lot from that Zarya beam, and Zarya's pretty high charge. Logic does take out Fisher, but Outsider onto Relay, and that's exactly what they need. Mitrar going to continue to push forward as Tom takes out Logix, and maybe they can continue to get onto this point and take it, but they have lost quite a few important members. They are going to need Mitrar to do a lot of damage here, but he's going down. And if you look at the HP bars right now, guys, you can see the story right there as the offense is all the defense is all healthy and ready to fight, whereas the defense is on low HP bars trying to get healed up. Now, that is a sign that B.fly could be doing a little bit better of team shotting, but at the same time, a cleaned up fight, and B.fly is able to stand strong and wane off the first offensive attempt.
Yeah, this is not looking great because guess what? I guarantee the offense is taking right now. You have your ultimate. Let's go in. Let's wait for Logic to build up his Deadeye, and let's go in and engage. But right now, look on the defensive side as well. They have both of the defensive ultimates, and they have Deadeye. And not to forget, Graviton Surge will soon be coming up as long as Earth Shatter. So maybe this might be the time where they get baited in.
Yeah, we'll see if that is the case. There's going to be the sound barrier coming out for the offense as they want to push in with the Winston. Deadeye from Reels, though. 2 critical kills, Evoke being one of them. That's going to mean no more speed boost. Disengage is going to be that much harder, and now they're going to continue to clean it up. Mitrar is going to fall, and Logix, he's the only member left alive, and if he gets staggered here, it looks like he was able to effectively evade their sights or evade their pressure. But nonetheless, it's still a symptom of the same problem, which is that they are not able to get on the point and fight right now, and they used 2 ultimates to do that, and they still were not able to. So here becomes the question, right? With ultimates, are they going to be able to do it, or do you think B.fly right now is just having the better use of the ultimates, the better reaction to the situations?
Yeah, well, right now, they're matching them basically ultimate for ultimate. They didn't trade anything more than they needed to, and they still have Tom's Lucio ultimate and MVP Badger's Earth Shatter, so they're still in a very good position. And Reels just took out Mitcher, so this is
that's just huge. And then of course that was a Deadeye coming out from Logix, and while that was going on, like you said, the huge kills in the background, Reels once again with the flank, Fisher getting himself a double kill. But again, I want to highlight the idea right there that, yes, Graviton Surge sucks people in, but it doesn't cancel abilities. And the Reinhardt barrier was up, and they were focused on it naturally like they should be. You want to capitalize on your abilities, but Reels, that's the power of a good flanker, is being able to get on the back of the side of the team when they are not ready for it, and they are trying to get something done with another ultimate on their side.
Yeah, looking on the offense right now, Evoks has a small window of opportunity when none of the big defensive ultimates are up on their side. Maybe they can get Mitcher in and get Dead Blossom up.
Ooh, this is a double kill, but maybe Relay gets the third one as Logic's going to push in and get his kill onto Fisher, and now it is just going to be Tom left alive. Now Tom can go for as much stall as possible, but he will get taken out by the flashbang and the left click, so that will be Evoks taking the point, but no mistake about it, guys. That was a very, very long push needed to go ahead and take the first point, and that means 3 minutes eaten up on the clock already, and before it was both teams taking the point quickly, this was taking Evoks a long time to get it done.
Yeah, that's almost exactly what happened. They were able to engage and, capitalize on the fact that Casper and Tom didn't really have their ults. Sure, Casper was at 95%, I think, when he died, which is unfortunate, but man, they were able to they just had that smallest of windows, and because of that, they were able to do it.
Yeah, that is, honestly, I don't have any other way to say it. It's just, when you die, when you're that close to your ultimate, it's almost a desk-pounding situation. as we are going to have the Deadeye coming out from Logix. They are going to push forward off of it. They only have one person on the payload. They do need to make sure they keep people on payload zoning, and getting no pushing ground is pointless. But it looks like they will be going ahead and doing that flank around from Logix as he's looking to pull the reels, but there's going to be the Graviton Surge coming out from the defense. What can they do with this? As Logix will end up going down outside or doing a lot of damage off the back of it, but Relay gets his own kill. Drop B coming out from the offense as they look to continue to fight this. They're not done with it yet, even though they're down 2. Casper takes out Relay, and they're continuing to push forward as Nesh gets himself another kill on this Zarya on massive charge, 100%. It looks like there's going to be another kill for Evoks, but Fisher and Reels making big plays. Fisher going to continue to push forward, and he's able to actually take out Nesh with the assistance of Tom, and that is going to be another cleaned up fight. In 2 minutes and 40 seconds remain on the clock here is B.fly. B.fly, they do not want to lose here in this finals. Their first win has eluded them for a while, to say the least, and Evoks is going to be the door in their way. But Evoks, well, they haven't had their own win, but I guess it's hard to say that they're going to be the ones that are in control when they're down 2 ultimates to 5.
Yeah, and that's kind of what they are. They're waiting for it right now. They're going to engage a great Graviton Surge, but there's so much defensive ultimates you can possibly use right now. Casper's still waiting on his ultimate, waiting for it to proper time to use. They waited out the Graviton Surge, burned nothing, so they're in an extremely strong position right now.
And their Earthshatter ends up whiffing onto Fisher, which means he's going to be able to get in the background and do a lot of damage and at least distract them, if not outright kill some. Reels does get the kill onto Mitchar after he gets the kill on MVP Badger, so a 1-for-1 trade. But that's not going to be enough in the situation that B.fly has control of the game, and that they do. We really do need to see the side of Evoks get a lot more done here, but it's not happening. Nesh does take out Outsider after Tom takes out Relay, and Fisher will drop down to 20 HP, but does survive and gets back for now. There's going to be a Deadeye coming out from Logix, and again, the onus on them to get good plays out of this right now is very high, as Nesh will end up taking out Casper, but that's still not going to be enough yet for them to get what they need done. Tom going down, though, both supports, and Tom did have that sound barrier available, so that's going to make a big difference. There was an Earthshatter from the side of MVP Badger, but nothing was gotten out of that as he falls to Mitchar, and Nesh takes out Reels, and that does wrap up the streets phase here of this map, as there is a minute left on the clock. Will be 3 minutes and 15 seconds remaining on the clock for Evoks here. Ooh.
Not really sure why Fisher was going for that huge flank. I thought he had ultimate when he was doing that. He didn't really have anything, so maybe it would have been smart for him to stay with the team and try to put out more damage. But I mean, right now, I think he's still waiting for the build the ultimates. Right now, the offense has a huge opportunity right now. Double Graviton Surge.
Mitchar, that was disgusting. You're going to need to go take a shower after that one, friend, as you got yourself a quad kill Graviton Surge set up by Nesh, and Death Blossom right in the center, as Death Surge is one of the nominations for that combo of abilities. But bam, Scribe, that's exactly what you want to be seeing in that kind of situation for the offense to get a good cleanup. 2 ultimates needed. They do have more coming up here in just a second, as there is going to be the Transcendence coming out from Vaneless. Logix getting himself not 1, but 2. Oh, Fisher, but he ends up going down, unfortunately. Like you said, he had that ultimate. He could have done a lot with it, but he ends up falling, and another team kill to punctuate the point. And 6:42 is going to be the time that I get on the clock, and Vaneless agrees, but oh man, they were not looking good at all on that map, getting stalled up so hard on point A, so hard on Streets phase. But then that Graviton Surge combo with the Death Blossom, they end up getting a lot of momentum, and they clean up the Foundry in just a matter of seconds, it felt like.
That's gotta hurt so much when Mitchell is the one with the Death Blossom ultimate, and I can guarantee Fisher was saying, I'm at 95, 96. Just buy some more time, you know, burst out of the gate, and just Fisher gets taken out of the air just as he starts at Death Blossom. That could have been game changing, but man, that's just how your ultimates play out, and it's a little unfortunate that's the way it worked. But I still want to point out, back when Fisher made that very, very ill-advised flank, I strongly believe he needed to be on that defense. He needed to be closer to his team. I honestly thought the reason why he was going is because he had 93, 95% ult and was able to take down, you know, Vaneless in the backline. Maybe that would have changed the entire fight, but he had nothing. I think he was just trying to go and see if he could maybe catch someone unawares, but I don't know. That didn't really end up being the best decision that could be made. Obviously, you know, I'm doing a hindsight 2020. I have such great retrospect right now, but you know, maybe if Fisher goes and makes that big play even without ult, I'd be, you know, singing his praises. You know, that's such a great decision. You know, what a smart play by him. But I keep on feeling that might have been the reason why they fell so early.
Yeah, no, I could definitely agree with your logic there. I feel like it is a high risk, high reward situation, but it is also one of those situations where I think you either are caught between a rock and a hard place there, where you either go for a play like that, because if you go for a Death Blossom from the front, you're going to be in an even worse spot. But if you don't do that, then I feel like you should just, at the end of the day, teams are not doing it in this tournament. I feel like you should be switch to D.Va, switch to Mei, switch to Tracer a lot sooner than you are, because at the end of the day, even if you don't hold the point, if you buy yourself another 30 seconds, that makes your offense that much better.
Yeah, I agree. So let's watch this really fast engage, and let's go in the back line. Wow, pushing them off the site.
That was very quick. Like you said, MVP Badger was already on the point within the first 5 seconds of the map, really first 10 seconds, and then pushed them back to that archway incredibly quickly, and Tom's going to be able to take out Logic's MVP Badger onto net. Oh my god, this is not good at all for the side of Evoks, as they end up losing their entire lineup. Evoke goes down to Reels as he gets himself a double kill at the end, and Evoks, well, they were holding on for a second there, but... Ooh, not family-friendly streaming anymore here, I gotta say it that way, as they just got mopped up, cleaned up, and the floor, well, it's definitely very shiny now.
Yeah, man, that was, and that's kind of tough to, you know, tough to counter, because if they're so coordinated like that and they're able to survive. I mean, MVP Badger was just alive for so long. He's able to create so much disruption in the backline. If he was taken down earlier, maybe that fight doesn't go as is. But they have so much dive, Reels, Fisher, you know, Winston. It's just so much damage up front, and they were just pushed off site and weren't able to kite properly.
Yeah, and maybe they went back between the semifinals and this game during the break and listened to you. They are running the Zarya instead of the and the Winston instead of the Reinhardt Zarya with this, or Reinhardt Zarya with this combination. Fisher with the Dragon Blade. While we were talking about that, getting a lot of kills too so far. He is looking for the third, most likely going to end up happening as Reels is able to take out Relay. R for R and R for M as Mitchar goes down to Reels, and that's going to be 2 more kills for them. They're going to continue to push forward, and this is definitely a big show coming out of the side of B.fly right now, as their offense is looking terrifying, but they're definitely running, I think, a more refined composition for themselves with the Winston Zarya to combo with their assassins.
Yeah, I mean, this last point looks like to be a pretty good point for them to defend. A lot of defensive ult back up, so this will be the last stand. I probably would have liked for them to maybe kite back and stay alive for a little longer. But on offense right now, Fisher just burned his ultimate. Reels is going to have his ultimate very soon. I'm going to wait for a counter engage. This is what I think is going to happen. The defense is going to engage in, and if they're smart, Casper and Tom will be able to allocate the ultimates correctly and go for a very strong counter push.
Well, there's, like you said, offense is going to go ahead and engage right there. There's going to be the counter engage coming out from the defense. It was just a different way than you had predicted, and Mitchar are going to be able to take out Casper and Relay onto outsider. Logic's taking out MVP Badger, and this is exactly what the defense needed. And I was about to bring up the point there, Scribe, as we were sitting at 4 minutes and 10 seconds on the clock right now. B.fly has basically all of eternity as far as it's concerned in Overwatch time to be able to take out this map. Basically, the timer at the top is the timer for them to work with. So, I mean, what would you like to see them do? They do have 3 ultimates right now, so do you just build up for all 6 and go for it that way, or try to win it right now with the 3 ultimates that they have?
I mean, they're running right into a Graviton Surge, which is never a great look for anyone, but they've stayed alive. Wow, double Transcendence able to mitigate so much of the damage. Fisher, though, has to build up. Did Fisher build Dragon Blade? Oh, man, that's unlucky. Unable to do damage at all. Honestly, that's what I was kind of wishing for, was that Fisher would be able to build ult, maybe kite back a little more and wait until that comes up and be able to execute with it. But based on the way the defensive ultimates were staggered up, they were able to mitigate so much damage early on. Fisher's back at 8%, and they're going to have trouble. I don't think Reels will... I mean, both their DPS dealers have no clear ultimates for the longest time. Maybe someone needs to switch over to Reaper.
Yeah, no one has any ultimates right now. This is going to be some very raw fighting, as we are going to have the flashbang over the top onto Relay, and that's going to be taking him out. As Outsider is able to finish him off. Mitchar takes out Reels as well as Evok onto MVP Badger, and with those kills, maybe the defense will be able to stabilize off the back here, but Fisher, if he can survive, he just did. At 10 HP, he gets bubbled up and topped off, and now he's going to be chasing onto the Lucio, and Evok gets decapitated with the shurikens. 1 to his throat, and he's dead. Now, over to the Reinhardt, as he's going to be trying to get set up there, charging forward, trying to get onto that payload. He does have the Discord Orb on him, and you know what? Fisher has another Dragon Blade available. Scribe, he not only got 1 during that, but he's going to get another one for this fight. He's able to take out Logic. He's dashing through. He's doing so much damage. It's not even fair anymore, and that's what you expect out of your Genji player. And with 2 minutes and 30 seconds remaining, I don't think B.fly could have really had too much more of a dominating performance against a team of an even caliber, because Evoks, well, when you're against an even team, they should have some playback, some decent fight back, but still, B.fly very dominant there.
Man, Fisher is just making me man, I told you guys that Fisher was the player to look out for, but Fisher in that last point was able to stay alive for so long, building that ultimate charge, and what's even more amazing is he was doing that entire last point without ultimate, and just that just blows my mind how good Fisher was able to maneuver in the back lines. And maybe they needed more target selection. I think that should have been a call. Maybe this is the map where they finally wake up and realize, hey, Fisher's causing a lot of issues. Maybe we need to have our McCree play more safely, maybe not really go for the big battles and wait just to flashbang specifically, or maybe even run more Reaper in the defense and try to play more defensively. There's so many options that you can really run here, but big issue is you got to find a way to deal with enemy Genji.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with that. I mean, there's two things I kind of wanted to add to that, extract that. The first thing is, I think it's really important that you mention his movement and his execution. The combination, the combos from Genji are so important. Genji is to be frank, weak damage hero by himself. 28 damage per shuriken. Honestly, Lucio does just about the same damage. It's really not that exciting. But the thing about Genji is if you hit the 3 shurikens with the fan, you dash through instantaneously, and you get the melee. It's high burst, and that's without the ultimate. And if you can consistently land that combo back to back to back, you will wipe out heroes in the backline. And then the second thing, again, a little bit back on my previous experience, in a game like Dota, when you have a hero that's able to juke and jive at 10 HP, there's this natural focus that comes out from the rest of the team that goes, this guy's at 10 HP, finish off Genji, finish off Fisher, Fisher needs to die, Fisher needs to die. And then all of a sudden, everyone's, well, rightly so in the moment, turning around to look at Fisher and to take him out at 10 HP, and then you get shot in the back of the head by the other DPS player, because there's always another threat out there. So you have to be willing to, be ready to divide your attention properly, and sometimes those low HP situations can actually benefit the team that has the low HP player because of the amount of focus that goes into trying to finish off the squirrely low HP hero that shouldn't have gotten away.
Yeah, no, of course, and that's just target focus and being over focused on it, and that's something that needs to be called out, was the fact that Fisher didn't have ultimate through that in time. So maybe hey, he's only at 10 HP, he doesn't have ultimate, probably isn't going to get it very soon, and you just kite back with that and try to take advantage of the fact that he can't really do much besides create disruption in your backline. But then again, I mean, I can say that, but if Fisher is able to move out of the way and play extremely safe, I have no idea.
And of course they switch sides again, so we'll be getting the stopwatch started on time, and we'll be switching up the sides here so that it is proper for you guys. As classic caster failing production, but we will get the production unfailed and fixed up. Fisher over on the left side now. Interesting, as that is going to be a look for them. I imagine that B.fly will be going for that left side push. That seems to be something they prefer, but right now it's looking like a right up the gut is looking like what they're going to prefer. And with the Reinhardt position the way it is, there's the speed boost, the amp up. They're going to go in. Fisher looking for the kill onto Lucio. Not going to be able to find him. Mitcher does get the first kill of the match. Flashbang on Fisher as he takes 2 shots from McCree and will end up dying to Logix there. That's going to be a pretty clean defensive cleanup here, as there's barely any offensive threat remaining. And once there's a few more down, they will be cleaned up quite quickly, and that should be the first offensive push done with.
There was some very smart macro level play from the defense by forcing them around the left side. If you kind of look closely, forcing them around the left side forces them into the carts where the DPS doesn't have a clear line of sight, and because of that, the defense was allowed to do a lot more chip damage than they expected, and was honestly taking advantage of the fact that the attack wasn't super coordinated. But right now they're going into the left side trying to regain that lost footing, but let's look carefully. Mitcher is on that flank, and if he can stay hidden for a little, he might be able to get more damage done.
Yeah, that Earth Shatter though didn't end up doing too much. It didn't look like MVP Badgers does get the kill onto Veinless. Casper taking out Relay, and maybe off the back of that they might be able to win, even though that was a defensive Earth Shatter. Logix does survive due to the bubble, going to prevent his death as he does get flashbang onto Fisher and does take him out, but Reels does die in the end. Actually, sorry, Logix does die in the end as Reels was able to take him out, and that is going to be those kills, and I think that should be the point. There's no more defensive members in the air to really hold it out. And of course, like you said earlier, I can't remember exactly which game, but when the defense dies that early, they do have the opportunity to actually get in position without having to worry about like the double cap situation or the high aggression situations that can prevent you from ever getting set up as the defense.
Yeah, now they're taking the high ground advantage, and because B.fly wasn't able to push up as early to take control of the upper levels. Right now, Relay is sitting there with his shield up in front, preventing a lot of initial damage. And in the backline, Tom, for some reason, runs right through, but Mitcher is right in, and that's a Graviton Surge.
That might be enough for them to capitalize on it. Mitcher are going to go for the Death Blossom. He gets himself one. There is going to be the Transcendence over the top as Casper tried to keep his team alive, but you know what? I'm not exactly sure what ended up knocking him that high into the air. Now, I believe that based upon what was going on in that fight, it had to have been a Reinhardt charge, because I don't think any other hero has the kind of ability, unless Lucio somehow literally bopped him straight up, or booped him straight up from below him, but I don't think that's possible. So Relay inadvertently ends up knocking up Casper's Transcendence and making it do 0 effect.
Yeah, man. I wasn't quite sure what Tom was doing right in that moment. Kind of just ran out through the team. But right now, there's a lot of ultimates for them to use. They can honestly force a big fight. Right now, great Graviton and Surge. Holy crap, that's ridiculous. How do you line that one?
He ended up getting it, I don't know how, but he does end up getting it on the side of the bridge. Gets himself 2 kills with Tom. Relay going to be in the background going for that Earth Shatter Logic. So Logix is getting huge kills right now for his team. He's going off and he's making a big difference. This is going to help Mitchar get himself a 2nd kill as they are comboing together here to chase out the rest. It is just going to be Reels left, and Reels does land 1 onto Logix, but it is a situation where Logix has a lot more backup, and right now Evoks is definitely sitting a lot better on their defensive play right now. They have stalled it up for a 3 minute and 37, basically 3 minutes and 40 seconds now total, and have bought themselves a bit of time. Of course, it should take another minute full for the offense to score the payload unabated. But like you said, the ultimate's looking good here for B.fly.
Yeah, and I mean, while that Zarya ultimate was very cool and looked really good, it caught him on the side of the bridge, which is honestly out of range of a lot of their characters. So that was kind of the part that was missing.
He's over on the right side. There was a Dragon Blade. He got into the flank. He's in a position where they were ready for. He gets himself a double kill with the Deadeye. And again, like you said earlier, Reels, he can make a huge difference. And when he flanks, his flanking, his understanding of it, ends up taking out Vainless as Vainless takes the smart way out, denying the ultimate charge and falls off the cliff. But still, that flank, that's exactly what you need at these high skill games, is those unpredictable decisions that can give you an advantage. And now they're going to push in and maybe get the spawn stagger as Reinhardt's in a horrible position. I imagine Relay is going to go down as, of course, he was caught off in that ramp. We didn't follow him, but he was being charged to his death by the offensive Reinhardt. And right now, Scribe, this is looking like a sub 6 minute time if B.fly can continue the momentum they have.
Yeah, watch out for Casper right now. Casper's ult timing is going to be all the difference. He needs to somehow mitigate Mitcher's ultimate, Evoke open it, and Logic ultimate right now. So combining, Reinhardt being able to put the pressure down, and that's a great Earth Shadow right there.
But maybe it's even a decent Earth Shadow, but the Death Blossom from Mitchar, of course, that flank in that corner, that's a pretty standard one as well as the one we were talking about earlier, one farther up that pathway. But nonetheless, Mitchar in the corner gets the Death Blossom in their backs, eviscerates them, assassinates them, cleans them up, and that'll be B.fly pushed up, backed off, and now Evoks, with a moment to breathe, might be able to get themselves a little bit longer of a time here on this map and give them the chance they need to actually score and get a point on the map. Remember, they are down match point, everyone, as of course this is 2-0 for the side of B.fly.
Man, where was Casper on that one? This ultimate could have been needed. Great Graviton Surge, but now Casper comes in with Transcendence, mitigating so much damage, so much wombo potential. Reels is down, however, so that's going to be a lot DPS down. Great defensive Reinhardt Earth Shatter, and now it's just a matter of duking it out, staying alive. If Casper can land a few lucky kills, but Logic is just wiping up this fight.
That was just such good play from him in the positioning as well, always in the right spot at that medium distance. That's exactly what you need to be doing as McCree. He isn't just a very easy hero in the sense that you hit targets with your left click and you get kills. Now, of course, that's how it works in first-person shooters, but also McCree is a hero that I think definitely gives a good player a lot of tools when they are positioned properly. Mid-range, poke, the flashbang, so much to work with, but there's going to be a Dragon Blade as well as a Graviton Surge, and they could get a lot done with this, but Fisher, with the deflect, gets himself 1 kill, now 2, and maybe can continue to get more as he does still have the Dragon Blade available, but Nesh is there when they need him in the clutch, able to clean up that Dragon Blade, prevent any more damage from that. The bleeding's already done, and that's going to be the end of the fight here, is basically it's just going to be MVP Badger, the last one to fight it out, and when you're all alone in this situation with Reinhardt, you can try to get out alive, but the truth is that you are basically at the whim of the defense for your stagger, and I honestly would have liked to see Evoks go ahead and stagger that a little bit better. I definitely feel like that was a little bit eager, but at the end of the day, you're down 0-2 in this series. Stability is key. You need to get on the board.
Yeah, and I mean, man, Fisher's stomach was too big, man. It was way too big for his appetite, because what happened there was he saw the Graviton Surge and basically went in immediately, but I mean, oh man,
Mitcher ends up shooting. Yeah, he ends up shooting Fisher in the back there. Maybe again, like you said, maybe Fisher's getting a little bit too into his confidence, a little bit into the flow, a little bit too much into his ego, and it's not going well for him. But nonetheless, the offense is going to be cleaned up once again, and B.fly as a whole is not getting much done. And I will say that you can't, or we shouldn't put all the blame necessarily on Fisher and his big appetite, but also Reels hasn't had any big plays in a little while. It has been a little bit quiet in his department. It has also been quiet in Casper's department. We haven't seen either of them go off on the kill feed like we normally do when they're winning.
Yeah, nah, man, this big flank right there, it might be the Mitcher might just come in again for the huge flank. He has ultimate too. Oh no.
He jumps down. No, but he doesn't end up getting enough of the damage. We ended up waiting for the kill feed, but not going to matter. Veinless, though. Veinless, he's the one who's going to answer, and Casper's going to be the only one left alive. And I imagine they'll be chasing it out, and that was a bit of a mistake coming out from Evoks, and I'm sure that there might be a LOL in chat, and yeah, oops. Definitely going to be called out there, as he definitely did not mean to sound barrier from a running away Zenyatta. But nonetheless, they bought themselves a great offensive time here.
Yeah, no, and that's for sure. And obviously, we're not trying to put blame on Fisher, but it's just that Fisher is required to make plays and make some of these pushes, and right now it's just not clicking together.
Yeah, no, it is a high. We'll go ahead and get to that in just a second, as the offense is going to be pushing in. Logic's going to get the kill on MVP Badger. Mitchell takes out Reels, and that's going to be pretty much all of the offensive threat. It really is going to rely on Fisher here, and like we said, it needs to be a situation where Fisher has to do something for his team if they're going to actually end up winning this. He does try to get the shots, does have, oh, the Graviton Surge, that might be exactly what they need. He's getting the headshots over the top and doing a lot of damage. He's going to end up taking out Logic. Now he has the Death Blossom, and he's ripping it out, doing a ton of damage. He's going to get himself not 1, but 2, and now 3 kills, hunting down onto the Lucio, looking for the 4K, as this is Fisher not giving up. He doesn't want to lose the game right now, right here, as the rest of the offense is going to be pushing forward. They're on the payload. Kill feed going back and forth. This is going to be a Death Blossom coming out from the defense. Deadeye is available from Reels, and if he could get these kills, it might be enough for them to go ahead and win and push this card in, but it needs to be a huge Deadeye, and so far it isn't that easy. He does land the flashbang, taking out Veinless. There's another kill, as there's going to be the, oh, Zarya, not dead yet, actually. Not sure who died before the Winston, but so far they need to take out the Zarya. Payload is going to continue to move here, as there isn't a Tracer in the area. Tracer's going to end up going down, and Earth Shatter. Payload will be converted, and that is going to be a, if my clock is correct, a 9:32. 9:30, they go ahead and say 9:30, so it was a little bit ahead on my stopwatch, but that is over the map max time, and I'd also like to go ahead and add there that, well, it's a situation where Evoks felt like they were starting to come into their own a fair bit, and they were able to really step on the ground, draw a line, make it their line, hold it, never really give it up, and in the end, of course, that overtime clash, it can get incredibly hectic, so much pressure, so many comms, so many situations going out, but nonetheless, Evoks, 9 minutes and 30 seconds when it's all said and done, definitely something to be proud of, regardless of whether or not you failed to defend, and they have a good offensive time that they can, or a good amount of time that they can work with, rather.
Yeah, man, just started calling out Fisher for not doing too much, man. That switch onto Reaper was so smart, and definitely something a lot of players might not do. They might just be super stubborn, saying, you know, hey, I had a success on this Genji before, I'm going to keep at it. But that Reaper ended up being, you know, the big difference maker, being able to do so much damage to so many opponents at close range and forcing out AoE damage. I mean, he cleared it up, he cleaned the fight up well, and what he did was kind of forced out a lot of defensive ultimates as well. But, you know, obviously great work from there, and, you know, Real's really good with the kind of zone control with the ultimate, making sure no one pokes up their head and tries to contest the card too early.
Yeah, I completely agree with you there. And back on the conversation about Fisher specifically, I mean, when you're playing the star DPS role, or you're playing the high-impact DPS role, I mean, again, in MOBAs, you talk about the carry and other first-person shooters, you talk about the main fragger, or your entry fragger is another high-stress situation, but it's a glamorous position, where when Fisher does well, or your star DPS player does do well and gets those huge kills, makes those huge plays, they're the ones who are going to get called out for that play. But at the same time, the nature of it is when you're not performing, well, you're going to get called out for it, and you're also going to be needing to do it because the impact that you have to have is just higher. I mean, at the end of the day, you are, in some ways, what everyone is hoping to put their chips into and rely on to be able to perform in those high-pressure situations.
Yeah, and now on the offense, we see a D.Va. I'm not a huge fan of the way it's set up right now. There's not a lot of flank that can go behind D.Va. Maybe they just need to boost in and mitigate some of the frontline damage right now. Relay mitigates so much damage, gives time for Mitchell to really clear out the frontline damage and clear out some of the supports. Fisher's trying to hold on for his best, but right now, you know, Relay may have had so much emphasis on that first engage, closing out so much damage with the defense matrix.
And they end up taking it. And I mean, even if you're right about the idea that that they weren't able to use too much out of the D.Va herself in other respects, I think that the defense matrix and the push-in from Relay was enough. Now, of course, Winston is also of the same vein and also of the same nature, but I think that in that specific situation, the way they executed as a team worked very well, very cleanly. And again, that is something that's also worth noting about in pretty much every competitive game. When you make a play, you need to go all in, no hesitation, you need to make it effective, and they did. No one cared about whether or not they would live or die. They cared about whether or not they took the fight properly. Fisher, we might be able to take out. if he could, I mean, if he takes out Vainless here, this could be absolutely huge and maybe give them a little bit of the opportunity they need. Vainless does drop down to about 20 or 50 HP, but now Logic's going against Fisher. Fisher will be able to dodge the flashbang for now, and we'll be able to take out Logic's, and this is so far a kill feed, though. That is not the way that I was saying it. I thought it was going to end up going, especially after they were able to get on Vainless, and you know what? He survives at 50 HP, Scribe.
Yeah, I mean, that's the kiting ability when that happens to the person who has 150 armor, 150 shields right now. He regenerates that instantaneously, so there's so much more benefit with being able to kite back with him. He's now back to full health, and now he's going to be back to do exactly what he needs to do. You know, put Discord orbs on targets and be able to increase damage from your team.
We have Logix with the Deadeye, and like you said, pushing forward with this Deadeye. That's going to be their job, is to get that Discord out and help him out after the Deadeye, get that combination, but there's going to be a Dragon Blade coming out from Fisher, and right now this needs to be absolutely huge, but I don't think it can do anything, as there's going to be a Death Blossom coming out from Mitchar, and he just wants to say, no, you guys will not be given your win. This will be at least a 3-1 if we're going out of this series. We will take this Dorado map. Of course, they still have to take the reactor phase, but nonetheless, if we look at the stopwatch, they have 7 minutes to conduct their offense here. Plenty of time to figure it out, and Mitchar is just lighting a fire under the side of Evoks right now, pushing forward with no cares in the world, only caring about the targets that he is taking out, and that will be them getting into the reactor phase pretty cleanly, and actually denying the defense setting up onto the high ground at all yet.
Yeah, I mean, this stage is just done so quickly. I think the defense is just getting super frustrated right now. They're just trying to, you know, go install the point. They realize how long exactly they had. They have 7 minutes. They have so much time they need to actually defend. So I think what they're trying to do is just stall it out slowly. They know that at this point they can hold pretty well. And now Fisher on the Genji, waiting for everyone to run by and hopefully can get some game-changing kills in the backline.
We'll see. MVP Badger does take out Vainless after he takes out the MVP Badger, so a trade literally right there, but there was some kills going out for the side of the defense finally before that, so this kill feed will be definitely defensive favorite for now, as Nesh is still alive, though he's fighting it out. He will end up going down to Casper and Tom in combination, and as you guys can see, Vainless, McCree, other heroes are running out together to go ahead and get back into the fight, but the defense has bought themselves some ultimate and some more breathing room. Like we said, it is critical that you continue to get those ultimates up on the defense so you can stagger them, but they don't have any control ultimates right now. They are close to a Graviton Surge, but they don't have anything near Inner Shatter right now.
Yeah, and it's going to be about whether or not they can reactively hold on to Tom and Casper's ultimates. Maybe have them at least like 8 seconds or 9 seconds apart, because they need to be able to match with their opponents, and their opponents have, you know, have like a Zenyatta ult as well, and the great Graviton Surge. Unfortunately, the shield's up in front, but he's able to take down Reels.
Yeah, Reels is slightly in front of the shield. It looks like, unfortunately, maybe a bit of a display from the Reinhardt, but nonetheless, Logic's going to get himself a second kill as he lands the headshots onto Fisher. Now looking over on to MVP Badger's Nesh. Ends up taking him out. Mitchar going to be able to take out, be taken out by Tom, or taking out Tom. Logic's onto Casper, and right now, that set of kills, I don't know if the defense is going to be able to stabilize off of this. This is going to be strictly stall heroes, I believe they're going to have to switch to. We'll find out here as we go over to Fisher, as he looks to get on the point. Reels is able to take out Mitchar, and if they are going to go ahead and stabilize and actually hold on from this point on, that's exactly what they do need to end up doing, as there's going to be a lot of damage going out onto the remaining defensive members, as there basically is only Fisher left. Outsider's taking a lot of damage, and it looks like he will go down, and that is going to be the map, guys. That is going to be the map, and with more than enough time to spare, 4 minutes and 30 seconds, and Evoks finally gets themselves up on the board, as we have ourselves a series, as it is 2-1 in the series so far. But man, Scribe, that was... Where was this Evoks the last 2 games we've been watching?
Yeah, honestly, all it came down to was Mitchell being able to pull off so much more damage. But like, I mean, honestly, it was just a few lucky catch-outs. If McCree's still alive at the end of that Graviton Surge, that's a totally different game. He was, what, 70% away from Deadeye in his return team clear. So much time to wait for that. But now, you know, we head to Lijiang, where it's going to be... We haven't seen as many King of the Hill maps today, but
no, we haven't seen any, actually. I mean, it has been a decently long day, and it starts early in the morning, a little bit earlier for me as I'm closer to the West Coast. But I mean, we haven't had one, correct?
No, I don't think we've had any on our side of the bracket.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm sure there's possibility of one, but I think something else that is completely worth pointing out is that they immediately started the next game. B.fly did not wait any second for it. So definitely maybe a little bit of emotions running high right now on the side of B.fly. Something that we could read into. Now, that can help some teams, that can benefit some teams, but that can also greatly hurt teams. I know personally, I am a player that does not thrive off of those kind of emotions well. I thrive in a much more emotionless environment, and I guess I'd say positive emotions are never going to hurt people. But that I guess contrast is I guess what I'll leave it off to you with, from that emotional high of 2-0, about to win the entire event, and then now you just lost a match.
Yeah, so there's two different ways. Yeah, there's two different ways you can do that. Which is, one, it's you start thinking about, hey, let's get this bad game out of our heads, and the first thing you want to do is just play another one. Maybe you're feeling good. Maybe you feel like, hey, that was just lucky. They may outplay us for a little bit, but that might be the attitude they're having right now. They just want to go in and start off immediately.
And Relay is going to be able to take our Casper to start that out, but Badger doesn't answer, so maybe this is going to be a pretty even King of the Hill match here, as Evoks is able to take out. Oh no, was able to help get a kill, but he does end up going down. Reel's getting himself a double kill, and Nash is the only really good member left alive, as he does get a kill with Mitchar, and him and Mitchar comboing together. Reels will be able to get another kill in the background in this Tracer. Reels definitely doing a lot on this Tracer right now, and there has been a few maps, I'd say so far, the Tracer has been good, that have been played in this best of 3, but this is definitely going to be the best map so far.
Yeah, I mean, and this is kind of a very big contrast to the two different King of the Hill kind of like metas right now, where you have on the side of B.fly, you have a lot of engagement, and on the side of Evoks, you have a lot more control and clear. So it's going to see how that is in terms of retaking the point and putting more pressure on the point.
Yep, Fisher going to be able to take out Vaneless, Casper going to be able to get Evoks, and this is one of those maps that if you don't have control of the point, it is so hard to get back in control of it, and even Relay going to end up wasting his Primal Rage there as he gets nothing done with it. And this has already milked a third of the percent for the side of B.fly, and I mean, I guess in your opinion here is that there probably might be a fight after I ask the question, but this map, it's so hard to break out onto the point. What do you think is the best way to go about actually breaking into this point and actually getting onto this point when you don't have control?
Yeah, a lot of it is execute related, and I mean, this is kind of like the weird thing about it. I mean, like Relay goes into the back line, and that's just not exactly what you needed to do. What they needed to do was execute. I mean, man, this is a little frustrating on my end, because my entire thing I thought they would be able to do was execute onto a point. You have a lot of clearing ultimates. You have Evoks on 88%. Like, sure, it looks bad at like 40%. You have so much more time to build on that. Instead, they kind of burn a lot of their ultimates. Now everything's staggered, and they had to rely on logics to be able to clear this point. I don't think it's just going to happen right now. They need to make sure that they're at the wombo combo, but on defense, also, Casper and Tom both have ultimates they haven't had to burn yet, so this might be a very aggressive push. This might honestly be the map for B.fly.
Yeah, we'll see here as Relay does take out Fisher, and that's a good beginning, but in the background, Reels is on that. Logix goes down. Nesh to follow as well. Now going to be a third kill here for just a second for Reels, I believe, as he is going to be able to take out Mitchar. Can he make it the 4K? Looks like Outsider will be able to take the kill, but 93% to 0%, and like you said, it's ticking down, and this Winston may be able to get on the point and proc overtime, but I believe this just will be a matter of stalling rather than a matter of actually being able to win the game. Zenyatta might be able to get there in time. We'll find out in just a second, but no, he's not able to. He gets taken out by Outsider, and yeah, so I guess it's the other question to pose to you then is, when you say execution, do you speak strictly in the terms of ultimate execution between the wombo combo, because you brought that up? Or do you mean in like positioning, like the execution, like the Winston maybe overcommitted there? Maybe he should be fighting in the front line instead of the back line?
I mean, it's a little bit of both, right? You got to think about what your win conditions are, right? You have a Graviton Surge up, you have, a Reaper ult up, and you have, a Winston who's willing to jump in and able to create some of that space. Sometimes you have to make the call, let's go in together, or let's take it from another angle, because what happened there was that Mitchar had an ultimate that was supposed to, clear the opening for them. It was supposed to do most of the damage, but unfortunately, he just was never able to get it out. Relay just goes in and is immediately focused down, and their team's not very tanky at all. And it's just it's a little frustrating right there when you see like Mitchar go in and do nothing on that point. But hopefully they're able to recover from this point and try to moving forward.
Well, they will be putting Logix onto this Tracer now. He was on the McCree for most of that match. Very end, he did switch over to it, but we are going to have him on that now, and he's doing a lot for his team. It is both Tracer's doing a lot, but it looks like finally the side of Evoks is going to go ahead and win this early engagement. If the only player left alive is going to be Reels, and very unlikely that he will end up surviving, and does go down. So there we go, the one side of Evoks going to be able to finally take the point and get in control here, but ultimate charge not looking too bad. It's weird, but it was almost an even fight in a lot of respects. They're down about 10-20% on average between heroes, but some of them are still even. Baneless and Casper are even, and the Lucios are pretty much even, as Casper will end up going down to Nash, and that's not a good start here. As I tried to talk about, the map being even on ultimates regardless of the positioning or the control. It is going to be going over to the side of Evoks as they continue to get more ultimates, only using the pulse bomb so far, and that is the fastest charging ultimate in the game, basically, as Relay gets himself a double kill with Logic chiming in as well. What do you make of this, Scribe? What do we need to see from B.fly if they're going to be able to take back this point right now?
I mean, they need to do exactly what what Evoks wasn't able to do on the last point. Really start thinking about, hey, we still have a lot of time left. It's only 37 seconds. We still have a lot. They're not even on the point. They're not even contesting on the point right now. This is ridiculous. I mean, you can make a good comeback right now and be able to, you know, put some person on the point, put some pressure. If you look at that, there's a little back door going on. Maybe they'll be able to sneak a small point.
Nah, unfortunately, it doesn't look like it will end up happening. Reels does take out Nesh, though, so that's a big start. But maybe they just could do this here. We'll find out in just a second, as it looks like Logix will be able to come in the background and clean up that other Tracer, a.k.a. the side of Reels and Fisher, as well. Going to end up going down to Mitrar, and 60%, 63% and counting here on the second map of Lijiang Tower here on Night Market. Logix taking a lot of damage, forced to use the rewind. But if we take a look at the offensive boats, or look at the ultimate boats right now, it looks like the boat of the red team, aka B.fly, is definitely looking a little bit more shaky. So there's going to be a lot available for the side of Evoks. That pulse bomb, Logix with the double kill. He's also going to help Evok get another kill, I believe, as well. And Fisher, just standing there, knows his days are numbered. Is not going to try to fight it out. Is not going to try to evade, because, of course, he does not want to get staggered. So he's just going to go ahead himself and let him die. And this is going to come down to the very last second here.
Yeah, and this is just unlucky for Casper and Tom, who've just been, you know, picked off so early on. None of them were able to develop a lot of ultimates. Maybe they'll get their ultimates right now and be able to use it defensively, but man, Fisher has to really do more than that. He can't just kill one person and go down.
Yeah, then that's exactly right. He ends up going down right after he bursts the target and does some damage, but Outsiders have to take out Relay, and this might be the beginning of the end, the beginning of the change for the side of B.fly, as Reels is going off right now. He's getting a lot of kills, and if they can just take out this Genji, that would be the one hero that they need to take care of. It is just going to come down to that, and it looks like he will get cleaned up, and 99% for the side of Evoks will be flipped over to the side of B.fly at 0%, and the clock has begun ticking in the opposite hour. But at the same time, Scribe, 99% to 6%, it is worth just bringing up that every single time this happens, the probability of winning the game actually goes down lower and lower, because they only have to win one fight to win the game. That's it.
Yeah, I agree, but now Casper has his ultimate right now, which might be a huge game changer if he can mitigate a lot of the rushing in damage. And Casper goes down early, he's unable to get down his ultimate.
And that could be huge for them. However, in the background, there was also the Winston MVP Badger being a no rain, no brain, as he's able to take out one target, still surviving, pushing around. But it looks like Fisher able to take out Relay, and MVP Badger able to take out Mitrar. And these kind of kills are exactly what they do need. It looks like Nesh is going to go down to Reels as he turned around on his back to him. And it looks like Evok is going to follow the same fate, as he ends up getting shot in the back as well. And Tracer, once again, Executioner style, coming up behind targets and quickly finishing off when they're at low HP.
Oh man, that was some outskilling by the DPS of B.fly, keeping it alive and keeping it alive, even though they didn't have Casper all. But this might actually be a blessing in disguise. Casper still has the ultimate for this next engage, and what they're saying is right now, hey, Zarya, we have Graviton Surge, put it down and see what we can do. Maybe a Rumble combo right here.
There it is. There's going to be a Graviton Surge into the post bomb, but the post bomb was on top of the Winston barrier, so it doesn't end up doing anything. Reels will end up flying off the cliff, though. However, Rila does knock off Outsider, so 2 for 2 so far, as Rila gets himself a second kill, knocking out Tom, but Casper takes out Mitrar, and Evoke ends up falling to Fisher. And that's exactly what the side of B.fly needs if they're going to go ahead and complete the sweep on this map and actually take it. Question is whether or not there's going to be one more good push, or a good enough push that comes out from the side of Evoks to actually be able to flip the point. It's counting. It's ticking down, Scribe, 99 to 87.
Well, this is all up to Nesh and Vainless. They need to work together and find a way to get the Genji in and mitigate as much damage. And luckily, there's no ult on the defense.
And if this Dragon Blade could do a lot right now, it could just change the outcome of this game. Nesh is going to take out one, he's going to take out two, and he's decapitating hero after hero. Now he's going to be able to take out Reels as he gets the slash dash combo into him, and that might just be the take of the point. Yes, it will be, with the team kill horn to punctuate it, and I don't think that B.fly, even if they wanted to, in any desire of any world, would be able to actually make it to the point in time. And so, Evoks, 1-1, best of 5, no, a best of 3, and again, it is worth noting that we are on match point. So if B.fly takes any map from this point on to the end, they are your winners. However, if they fail to do so, and Evoks takes the next 3 maps, or next 2 maps after this one, this could be quite the story to be telling for the rest of the week.
Yeah, and this would be a huge comeback, and that's exactly what happened. I mean, Nesh and it kind of sucks because when outside of B.fly, you made this huge comeback. But the problem is you just don't have any ults for that last point. Honestly, I would have liked to see them kind of be more defensive about it, try to kite out a lot more of the damage, and use the fact there's that weird terrain you can knock people off of in the back. Try to use that to your advantage. But you know, unfortunately, Nesh just got in and was able to do too much damage.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with that. And Nesh has been doing a lot this game for his team. They're going to have Evoks over there on the Zarya, as we do have pretty much the same compositions coming out. It was Nesh that ends up going down, as Logix ends up getting himself a lot of damage, as well as Rila and Evoks answering on the kill feed. 2 kills so far for Logix, as Evoks helps take out another kill. That is MVP Badger, and now Tracer versus Tracer, as Logix is trying to fight it out. He will use the recall to get out alive, but nonetheless, he's bought himself his team some time to go ahead and get back in the series again. Guys, if they win this map, they are tied 2-2 apiece, and then we go to, of course, that rubber match, the one map to decide it all, as if it was all a best of one for 150 euro to begin with.
Yeah, let's look at the engagement right now. It's still so messy and not a lot of teams right now. They need to regroup and try to execute properly.
Yeah, I know that post bomb could have done a lot more, but it ends up not doing too much. Vanless ends up getting himself a double kill, as well as Logic taking out Casper. And right now, the offense just needs to get on the point and actually take it. And there we go. That might be exactly what they need, as B.fly with the Dragon Blade doing a lot of damage onto this Winston. Winston trying to zone as long as possible, and it looks like Reels will be able to come back onto the point and help them out, as they do need to just focus down to this this Winston as soon as possible. If they don't get him down fast enough, he will continue to do the damage that he is, and that puts you in a position where you're pretty much, well, you're not going to be able to actually win the fight. So we'll see if that ends up happening here. There's going to be post bomb going out on Zarya. That was after this self bubble, so she's not going to have that available to save herself. Transcendence coming out from the side of Evoks, but I don't know if it's going to be enough quite yet, though. The kill feed is still going very much in the favor of B.fly, as we have Fisher getting himself a double kill. And now Real staying alive, harassing even more. Vanless going to end up going down, and they are going to go ahead and flip the point. This time 61% to 0%, and this time with a little bit more breathing room.
Yeah, what was really surprising was how Relay stays alive for that entire time. He literally survives long enough where he's 1v4 to get the end of that Lucio ult. And that great Graviton Surge keeps everyone clocked together. And wow, Fisher just goes on Rampage, forcing them off the point. They have to be thinking right now how to break this wall, because Fisher has ultimate now, Reels has ultimate, MVP Badger has ultimate, and it's just, you're going to have to go through so much damage to break this.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with that, but at the same time, it is a situation where they do have some opportunities to work with. Nesh with the Dragon Blade, Evoke with his own Graviton Surge, and that's actually going to be exactly that. We're going to see the Graviton Surge coming out, as well as Nesh using his Dragon Blade, and he's going to get himself a lot of damage so far. He's gotten himself a huge number of kills, making a total of 3, but now it's the Winston and the Tracer against him, and if Nesh can't get a lot done here, then he is just going to end up dying, and it looks like Fisher will end up being the one to clean him up and get that kill done, as Fisher had his own Dragon Blade in the background, and that's probably why there wasn't too much backup to get onto the point. Oh man, yeah, what a game so far.
That's exactly what it is. They trade Dragon Blade for Dragon Blade, but right now, because of the way the ultimates are staggered, you know, even though Evoks died earlier, that means they respawned earlier, able to get back in the control of the point, and that's a good Lucio ult to mitigate some of the damage and hopefully stall enough for their teammates to catch up. But man, there's that offensive Lucio ult, offensive Transcendent trying to buy some more time, but they're not able to kill Tom. They're not killing one in the middle.
That pulse bomb could have been so huge, but it doesn't end up doing it the most that I would have expected. But MVP and Fisher getting some big kills here as Logix and Real. We've been on Reels for a while now. He's still alive, still doing a lot of damage. End up doing against this other Tracer. Could end up winning this duel, doing a lot for his team, but looks like the point will end up flipping 85% to 62% and counting, as B.fly doesn't really have to worry about much more to actually take this point and win the game. But of course, it will matter if they can actually do that.
Yeah, they need to play patiently. They still have a lot of time to burn before they can catch up. And right now, Fisher's right at 100, Casper's at 100. They might be waiting for the Graviton Surge. There's some big engage, or they might just go in.
And it looks like they are going to go ahead and just go in, as there is going to be the Transcendence coming out, as well as the Dragon Blade from Fisher, as he ends up getting 2 kills, but then Nesh ends up shutting him down. Nesh needs to stay alive and keep doing more, as Outsider takes out Rila. If they don't get enough more down here, it is just going to be the cap at the point here, 92%. And it looks like Nesh, he ends up falling off in the end, and it looks like Evoks is going to end up going down, and that means the point's going to be taken, and that's 86% and counting. Luckily, it wasn't too far down the line on percentage points, which just means that they will be able to go ahead and have one more contest, but it is to that point where if the contest isn't 100% clean, they are going to be in big trouble, and that looks like to be a pulse bomb from Real. Is going to get himself a double kill, and with those kills continuing on as Evoke ends up going down on the point. Winston trying to fight it out, of course, with that Primal Rage, but the Discord Orb just going to make him shred. just like a Roadhog would in this situation. And it looks like the Tracer will end up going down. Next should be the Winston, and last but not least will be any heroes that they can go ahead and surround and take care of that nature. And that's going to go ahead and be the second map of Lijiang Tower going over to B.fly Scribe. And these fights, they go on forever at the end of King of the Hills, but it just feels like right now, at least when B.fly is ahead on the point and already controls it, there's really just nothing coming out special from the side of Evoks to flip it back over.
Yeah, and that's kind of the issue right now, is that a lot of these fights are very long and sustained fights, which means you have to be able to position very well. I'm just so impressed by all the DPS players right now, being able to stay alive and do so much. Fisher has always been alive, and feels like every time Fisher gets Dragon Blade, he gets at least 2 kills. Reels has just been almost, I almost never see Reels die. I feel like he sometimes dies together, but then because of the fact he's able to recall properly and blink out of place, he's able to stay alive for so much longer. But yeah, I think this is going to be the big point. I mean, this is... we're back on this in this map right now, so let's see how they're able to retake it.
Yeah, no, and again, this was the map that we saw B.fly take first and foremost, so we'll see how it ends up going here as Relay ends up killing out Casper. We do have Mitchart taking out Tom, and Relay getting himself another kill, so this is definitely a very good start for the side of Evoks, as B.fly looks to answer back, but it's not going to be nearly enough, as the only member that's going to be left alive is going to be Casper, as he's trying to run back, and there you go. That's exactly what Choke Overwatch fans needed, and of course they do need to win this map, and they do need to win the next one, otherwise they will be in a situation where they are out of the tournament, and they are done in the finals in 2nd place.
Yeah, and I mean, Evok right now has the percentage lead in your ultimates, but right, ooh. Oh man, that was very lucky from Reels to get back on the point, but Relay taking down Casper is a huge kill right now, and they're just rolling through them.
And Nesh ends up going down, but I don't know if it's going to end up mattering. The offense has lost more members than the team in control. The point right now is Reels is going to go in for the pulse bomb, gets himself 1 kill onto Vainless, but I don't think he really has the backup to go ahead and do too much off the back of this. There's going to be one other hero in the area, that's Tom. But again, I just don't feel like he had enough, and there's going to be Logix pursuing the kill and taking out that Tracer with the melee. That's exactly what you do want to do too in that situation. Of course, the emote as well, as the side of Evoks is starting to feel very comfortable in this match.
Yeah, and I would wait. Honestly, all I would do here is try to get Fisher some ultimate charge. I mean, he's at 98, he's 100 right now, and he's going in. I think that's what he's do. But Nesh kills Fisher and Tom.
And Nesh with his own Dragon Blade getting huge kills. Reels though with the pulse bomb, I believe, or just good left click's going to be able to get himself a double kill. But now Tracer is on the run from a Genji, and if Tracer takes 1 shuriken, will end up falling. There is going to be the Winston jumping in and looking to swing his fist away, and BB Badger will end up taking out Vainless. And it looks like still, despite all of this, Choke Overwatch is still in control of the point. There's going to be Fisher going for the Dragon Blade. No, just going for the normal dash. Will end up staying alive. There's going to be a Graviton Surge coming out. Pulse Bomb as well. Doesn't end up doing that much damage, as it looks like Logic will end up going down. Lucio having to amp it up before he goes into the cart dancing, or map point dancing, so he can go ahead and keep it theirs as long as possible. But he should get hunted down and surrounded, as he is the only one on the point. We'll go ahead and go for the sound barrier. I don't know if I strictly agree with that, but he is going to go ahead and do it. Looks like Relay will end up going down, and there's going to be a Transcendence as well as 89% to 0%. They just want to try to get it into overtime here, so if they ever take the point one time, it is just GG, or at least tied up 2-2 on this map, as Reels is able to take out Vainless, and that's 5 people on the map right now. Or point, make it 6, as they are going to have everyone here in just a moment. Tom and Casper end up going down, though, so that will decrease their numbers, but there's Evoke falling off, and oh man. No, Evoks, you're so close to being able to hold this. You're so close to being able to take this to a Game 5. You just need to win 2 more on Lijiang Tower, but B.fly takes the point for the first time on this iteration of Gardens.
Yeah, and they really need to watch their ultimates right now. Nesh luckily is, I think around maybe like 5 or 6 seconds from being able to pop his ultimate. So maybe they need to just hold off and wait for that in order to engage. And Evoks is going around. They know exactly that they left the side completely open. They're going to engage right now and see if they can get any kills.
And it looks like they might be able to get some, possibly, but the point still flipped over, not able to get it back yet. So that will give B.fly more time to stick up on the map, better chance to go ahead and fight this out. We do have the Winston in the background, and BB Badger trying to zone as best as he can. He is still alive and still able to do it, as we are going to have Reels onto the back of Zarya, doing a lot of damage himself, being able to take him out, actually, in the end. And now Winston. You heard that string of dinks, and you hear the shots going into the back of his head as he ends up taking a lot of damage from that Tracer up in the close range, up with those headshots, and that's exactly what Tracer does. Honestly, Winston may be good at dealing with Tracer, but in some ways, Tracer can absolutely shred a Winston when playing at the right skill level and at the right, flow in the game.
Yeah, no, I agree. And this last push is going to be a desperation push. I can see Nash going in, but right now, Graviton Surge and a defensive Lucio ultimate perfectly counters Nash. Nash is back at 0.
and he got the whole blade out, and that's exactly what you don't want to see. Logix will end up dying there, jumping off himself. Of course, that was the smarter decision to make, but I want to emphasize exactly what you get at there. He channeled it whole. There is no Dragon Blade. Nesh is at 5%. Maybe this is exactly what you're talking about. You're down 2-1, both in the series and in the map. If you lose this, you're out. Maybe you go Reaper because you just haven't been performing in there. Fisher takes out Nesh again. Maybe this is stubbornness. Nesh not switching away from this Genji.
Yeah, and I mean the reason why I don't understand the necessary reason why. It's it just doesn't really make sense right now. Your Genji takes so much time to build up, and now you're just going to put on Logix and Vaynes to really go in.
Oh no, they do have the Baneless Transcendence to go ahead and cancel this out, so maybe they'll end up winning this. Nesh ends up taking a lot. Oh, maybe this is exactly what they needed. Maybe they just bought up themselves the chance to win it. Reels ends up going down, and VP Badger is the only one left alive, and that is going to be the side of Evoks, able to flip the point, and I doubt there will be anyone from the side of B.fly to be able to get back on the point and take it. Logix does take out Tom before he's able to, and we have a 2-2-2. So maybe we spoke too soon, but I definitely still stand by my words. I feel like Nesh is sticking on Genji when it is not working. And at the end of the day, that worked. But I'd really like to say that probably worked because Vainless landed himself an amazing Transcendence to keep his team alive during that fight.
Yeah, and I mean, the big thing about that was that last moment when Casper just gets caught up by Nesh and dies instantly. What that does, that means that you no longer have that Discord orb. I don't know, I can't remember exactly what percentage he was. I think it was around like 30 to 40% for his ultimate. But you have you're down to single healer, and they've just been able to tear through. So what I will say is this: is that I think Nesh has his good points, but I think like also there might be some, you might be trying to consider maybe running a Reaper. I mean, we've seen a decent amount of Reaper, but also might just be team composition.
And it might also be like the Shadowburn syndrome too, right? Like if you have Shadowburn, why wouldn't you run Genji? So I don't know much about Nesh in that respect, but the action going to be underway as it looks like the first kill of the fight is going to be Evo going down to Fisher, as we do know a fair bit about his Genji play, and he has definitely been doing a lot with his Genji, but definitely had his famine moments. But right now, with Reels, the famine, it's not the case. It's going to be the kills, as he's going to be going in the background now, having to deal with Logix, but Logix, well, he's definitely feasting right now, getting himself 2 kills, and Vainless as well, both of them absolutely showing up and showing off there at the end of that clash. I'm going to go ahead and take the point, but Scribe, if Evoks is able to take this, we finally go to a decider map for the first time today. But B.fly, can they do it?
I mean, B.fly needs to really coordinate together. They can't keep on stepping. Casper's dead again, and this is kind of what caused them trouble last time on this map, was that their supports were just dying so often they weren't able to generate ultimate charge. And Casper's still at 37, and now, you know, Real's down to 33, like Tom's stuck at 84.
I believe the Genji that gets the better blade here is going to end up winning, and it looks like it's actually going to be, it's going to just be Fisher. And I agree with you there. At the same time, I think what you're saying is 100% right, but Fisher and Outsider there specifically said, hey man, unfortunately this is a video game and this is a competitive thing, and 2 people can step up and just outplay 4 or 5 people. Fisher got himself 2-3 kills, switching the Dragon Blade, got the 2 kills with that as well, and now they have the point. Graviton Surge going to be on 3-4-5, and the Genji dash through repeatedly. That's going to be a team wipe in just a matter of seconds, as Evoke is the only one left alive. But alive for how long is the question, as he is dead. Oh man,
what a great fight right there for the defense. It gives them time to build up a lot of ultimate charge. Fisher's back up to 61, Casper's at 75, and but meanwhile on the offense, Vainless is still in, so we might see some Vainless moves.
Yeah, we'll see here as he is gonna. Oh no, he ends up going down there in the background. Of course, going to be chased down by that Winston, and they're just getting cleaned up fight after fight here. But they haven't used really many ultimates. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't see any 0%. There were no ultimates used, so B.fly does take that. But at the same time, I guess I should answer myself too. B.fly didn't really use any ultimates to win that. They just used Tom's.
Yeah. I mean, that was a little weird from a Relay going in so separately, and I feel like they wanted to get in, but they were just stalled up at the entrance. That's a great engage. Hopefully they're able to kite, but man, Casper goes down very early.
And there's going to be the Dragon Blade from Fisher, and if they are going to win this fight, it needs to be off the back of this. Reels is going to get himself a kill. There's going to be the Pulse Bomb, but so far, Fisher with this Dragon Blade doing so much damage. It is just going to be the Winston left alive, and this Tracer. Tracer's going to try to fight it out. Winston going to be able to clean up Fisher there, but still, there's more members left on the point, left in the area to fight it out. That is going to be Reels chasing it down onto that Winston, but does go ahead and recall back, backing out Now the Primal Rage is going to be channeled by his teammate, his Winston. There is a bubble available, but it looks like Reels will end up going down, and there's going to be the Transcendence coming out from the side of Evoks as they continue to try to fight this out. Second Transcendence coming out. This time it's going to be Casper as a Graviton Surge comes out from Evoke, but it's a little bit late. The Graviton Surge, no! I don't know which even Graviton Surge is better right now, but it looks like the side of Evoks is actually doing much better here as Nesh with the Dragon Blade on top of that Graviton Surge ends up cleaning it up, but this is the story that B.fly needs if they're going to go ahead and win this right now. Scribe 99% to 34. What a series so far.
And this is ridiculous. I mean, this is what finals are made on. This is how you make that step forward as a very strong tier 2 team. You have one of these performances, you kite it out. There is a window for the offense as the defense doesn't really have any strong defensive support moments for ultimates right now. So if they can keep it up and really put the pressure on, they might be able to sell something.
Reels ends up taking out Zenyatta. It was almost a duel that looked like Vaneless was going to win, but Vaneless ends up losing it, and now Reels off the back of that gets a second kill. Logix and his teammates though are doing a lot for them. Pulse Bomb is going to go out, and Reels will end up doing some damage with that, but not that much. And you know what? He's all alone right now, needing to back up. And I want to kind of get back to the point we were talking about earlier. Now, I don't think it's at all on Fisher, but he is going to switch to Reaper. I like the Reaper in this situation. Reaper is a snowball hero. In King of the Hills, once you get one kill, he heals 80 HP. The second is another, and it keeps snowballing. They need to win one fight. And if there's a hero that is good at winning one fight without ultimate, it is Reaper.
Yeah, look at this. MVP Badger's at 96. Thomas has his ult right now. This could be big.
Relay tried to go for the Primal Rage to knock him off the cliff, but he doesn't end up getting any of them. So now they're going to be able to get on the point and fight it out. And there's going to be a Dragon Blade coming out from Nesh. How much damage can he end up getting done with this? He does end up getting 1-2 kills with the teammate. Helps of Mitchar and Relay, but he doesn't get up enough, I think, to win the fight outright. Relay takes out Outsider, and the kill feed is kind of even, kind of going out right now. It is going to be Fisher versus Nesh, and it looks like Nesh is going to get the better of that duel. It is going to be Mitchar. That dash through from Nesh doing so much damage, and there's going to be the Transcendence coming out. Nesh is going to have to try to get onto the point the best he can to fight it out, but he does end up going down because he needs to keep contesting it out. So far, the defense able to stabilize side of B.fly as they're on the point, but Vaneless ends up taking out another kill. There's going to be a Pulse Bomb. I believe that was Logix. Yes, it was Logix. Ends up getting a huge kill with that, and Casper ends up going down. I believe we are going to be going to another map here as it is just down to this absolutely crazy overtime situation. Pulse Bomb ends up going out, but it ends up completely whiffing, especially in a situation where there was the Graviton Surge that set it up. Reels a bit of a blunder there in the moment, but we'll see if it ends up mattering as he's getting a lot of damage regardless. Fisher and Fisher and Reels getting a lot done there. Casper has switched over. Oh, no. Casper switched over to a Soldier. They're definitely going all in the difference here. Two going to be able to take the point here, and it looks like the Soldier is going to go down from Vaneless, and that's going to be the flip of the point, and B.fly takes the series 3-1. That all happened in just a matter of moments, but guys, Pog champs for B.fly fans in the chat. B.fly wins their first tournament in Overwatch. B.fly takes the ESL EU Overwatch Cup number 10. Go4 Overwatch Cup number 10. 3-1 against Evoks. Congratulations to them, but what a series. A Scribe after a series of delays, forfeits, what have you, whatever it may be. That was a treat that I was glad to commentate with you.
Man, that last game was last team was ridiculous because basically all it took was for either Fisher or Reels to go down, and all of a sudden you force a map 5, but Fisher's just able to stay alive, do damage, and so is Reels. And that was the crazy part of it, was that at one point or another, Casper was actually pushed off of the map with ult, and that's why he was able to come at the last second with Transcendence, which is just insane to me, insane to think about, right? With all these small micro level plays that could have gone, and just, I mean, that last one could have swung either way. It was just so close.
I completely agree, and there are just a lot of situations there where I just feel like Evoks was just a step behind B.fly, and I think that King of the Hill game, I think I'm going to use that as kind of the umbrella, the frame to put this story to rest in a lot of ways. B.fly was just a step ahead. That series on the King of the Hill, it went 3-2. It was super close, but that last fight, that plays from Fisher, Reels, they just individually stepped up a little bit more than the other players, and that little bit more does a lot for them, and they end up taking the series. So congratulations to B.fly, and I gotta say, you know, I've been following them for a while, been talking to them for a while, and you know, been enjoying a lot of what they say. They've been helping me out with you know, ideas, analysis, and stuff like that. It's just good to see B.fly going ahead winning a tournament, and of course, no negative side to Evoks at all. They are a strong team, like you said. They did pick up a long time ago, members of 425. They've had strong runs in tournaments, but now it's going to be, of course, on Evoks to go ahead and come back next week and take out B.fly or take out the other champion and get their own big win. But Scribe, I mean, I don't really have much else to say. That series, this whole event kind of sums itself up. But if you have any closing thoughts or ideas, and of course, outside of the closing thoughts and ideas, after you're done with that, where can people find you? And what do they need to know about you? As of course, you have been sitting here talking for 6 hours, and we haven't really properly introduced who you are.
Yeah, no, let's triple. Let's start with some closing thoughts first. But no, this is definitely a lot about if you've been watching the DPS choices at all, it's a lot about Genji, a lot about Tracer in this matter. You need to be able to engage well, and because Zenyatta just gives so much room for Genji to really move around, and you can go long range heals, you can do a lot of damage from afar. But a lot of this map was who had the better Genji and who had the better Tracer in some of these instances. So especially for King of the Hill, expect to see a lot more Genji Tracer as a double DPS option. We did not see as much McCree as we would have liked on this King of the Hill options, but that might just be part of the meta that's cycling out right now. But in terms of where you can find me, I'm currently a writer for Gosu Gamers, so you can follow me on Twitter at scribe with a 1OW. I occasionally post thoughts, not really, but it's a good place to kind of see wherever I write. Always make sure to reblog my own articles and stuff like that. But you can also find all my content at gosugamers.net/Overwatch, and I write a lot of features, write a lot of analyst pieces as well. But yeah, I mean, it was great casting with you today. Today was honestly really fun to kind of see all these teams. And sure, it started off very slow, but following B.fly through all this entire tournament since the round of 64 was just, it was magical. And obviously, congrats to the guys for winning. But this is definitely a huge step forward. And good luck with the progress onwards. And the same with Evoks.
Yeah, I completely agree. I echo your sentiments. And I'd also like to say, guys, definitely check out his editorial work. You put out an article recently as a call to action on Blizzard to get some spectator client features out there for us. And of course, I am a biased caster, but I will say definitely go on Gosu Gamers and definitely check out that and share that piece, because I think that it is very important that we continue this discussion, as it is, in my opinion, getting to the point where it is a matter of Blizzard needing to do it for us to benefit us as casters and benefit us as storytellers for these teams and these players and these organizations and events. But nonetheless, of course, definitely follow him at ScribeOW on Twitter. You can also follow me, RaptorZOW. That's where you guys can find me on Twitter as well. All VODs are uploaded to my YouTube down below, guys. You'll find that youtube.com/user/DotaRaptors, as well as my Stratwatch series. But mainly, all VODs will be uploaded. So if you guys missed any of the action from me and Scribe today, you guys can go down there, go to what it will be created, the ESL Go4 Overwatch Cup number 10. I will be creating a playlist separate for that, and it'll be all there. And the last thing, but not least, if you guys haven't followed this channel, definitely please do. I do all my casting here, but that pretty much does it for me and all of my closing thoughts. Thank you so much, guys. You guys are absolutely amazing for tuning in. All of the PogChamps, all of the awesome feedback, all of the thoughts that you guys gave throughout the chat. Very happy for it. Speak for myself and Scribe in that respect. But again, I hope to have you on again sometime, Scribe, here soon, and get more casts with you. But that pretty much does it for us today, guys. I hope that you guys have a great evening, great afternoon. I hope you guys watch some E-League. I hope you guys watch some more Overwatch. And if you're not watching Overwatch, well, I know that there is plenty of awesome esports action going on, as I will be binging on Overwatch and TI myself for the next day or two. But again, guys, thank you so much for watching. This was the ESL Go4 EU Overwatch Cup number 10. Your casters were RaptorZOW and ScribeOW, linked to the bottom left as well. You guys can type in exclamation point casters to get that exclamation point bracket if you guys want to follow in the information. But that does it. We're done for today. We will see you guys on Tuesday for the July monthly cup, and I will see you guys for sure on Sunday for another ESL EU Overwatch Cup, and that'll be number 11. But thank you again so much, guys, and have a great day.